Let's go.
I've tried 1,000 tries, and maybe other guys. I'll never compromise, and now I realize I've tried 1,000 tries, and maybe other guys. I've tried 1,000 tries. I've tried 1,000 tries.
Here we go. It's gonna be fun, Pat.
Yep, I'm ready. It when you miss a week, you kind of are rusty. So this every
Yeah,
2 week thing makes me rusty. So don't worry, we'll get the ball rolling.
we'll get.
After 10 minutes, I'll be okay.
I hope
And
everybody on our guest Discord join us. Yeah, I think this is gonna be
oh, I think our
fucking
Discord
great.
is exploding. And I should be in there more now.
Yeah.
I know I started it,
Well,
but I need to be in there more.
absolutely. Well, the two guests right now have their own Discord. I think we're gonna get
Oh
a
yeah,
new
yeah,
chatter
yeah.
today.
By the way, your episode last week, very entertaining, very, like every week, informative as usual. We learned a lot from the two ladies. Great job by you, Gus, and Virgil
Tried
Maxino.
a thousand
So
tries, and maybe
just
other
shouting it
guys.
out
I'll
there.
never
Well,
Last
you
week,
know what?
compromise,
amazing.
and
If
now I
our guests
realize
today have
and
fun,
maybe
maybe we
other
can bring them as
guys.
co-hosts.
I'm
Always
I'm
love
sure.
to have
I'm
them.
sure.
I've
I
tried a
can feel it
thousand
already.
tries, and now I realize I've tried 1,000 tries, and maybe other guys. I'll never compromise, and now I realize and maybe other guys. I'll never
There.
compromise.
Yes.
I've tried 1,000 tries, and now I realize.
Happy Monday. Welcome everybody. Jay Nila in the chat. Naked in the chat. We're gonna see him later. Jay Nila. Maybe. There. There's also Go Bird. Super on the chat.
I have to say the names of our or the Twitch names of our guests are super creative.
Maybe we could ask them
We
how they get
will.
their name later.
We will.
All
We will.
right. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to season 2, episode 2 of The Guys Next Door. Hello, Pat, Sound Decision. How are you doing? We have another great episode today. It's two different DJs on a different community, and a very high energy community, I would say. So I'm very excited about this. Like all of our shows this season, it's crazy how we get all these different streamers and different DJs from all over Twitch, and all of them have amazing stories to tell.
Yeah. Every week there's something new. There's something that I learn. I know I miss every other week, but I make sure to tune in or watch the replay. So the replay will always be up in our YouTube channel. If you miss any of the episodes, please come back. There's most of the episodes are there since season one, and yeah, this is why Mondays. This is why usually Mondays suck, right? It's
Yeah,
first
yeah.
day of the week, but now we get to look forward to our episodes and it's exciting. It's exciting to have
That
Mondays.
that's probably why we made it a Monday show, because everybody, is like, oh, I'm going back to work Monday, but this is something to look forward to, and also to start the week, especially for our guests, right? So put them up front the first week so they can get all this, people get excited. And to your point, though, it's really interesting what you learn every single week, whether it's something about Twitch, about DJing, or even something about how life is, with regards to the stories of our guest.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of resilient stories, a lot of emotional up and downs, and how, not only towards getting here, but how they navigate through their life. Really, I know both of us were some of the older guys with some of the wisdom, but we learn a lot from the younger people who go on the show. And speaking of older guys,
Jane
before I
Miller's.
forget, tomorrow is Mr. Coops' birthday, so
Holy,
go
that's
flood
a,
his
supposed to be
go,
secret.
go flood his IG with slide into his DMs and give him a happy birthday.
Yes, yes, whole old, old. That's the right one. Thank you, Pat.
Not old, just
Appreciate it.
wise. All right.
Just wise, one way wiser. But well, everybody, thank you so much. We're gonna start the show. Welcome to the guys next door. Happy Monday, as always. The guys next door will bring you great guests, and today is gonna be different. Like I mentioned, we're gonna be a new community. We're gonna introduce the guests later after that. But before, we always start the show, I want to check first about the guys next door's week. How was your week, my
Oof.
friend DJ Pat?
It was lovely. I know, small talk. We could talk about the weather. There was a teaser over Friday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday. 74 degrees over here in the central Michigan. But here's the catch. On Sunday
What is
it
it?
snowed and it was freezing out there. So,
Wait,
but yeah,
it snowed Saturday?
Sunday it did.
Oh, Sunday. Wow, it was great here Sunday. It's one of high 60s. So
After
it's great
giving
for the
us
weather.
great weather, actually, snow comes back. It's typical of Michigan, though. Nothing surprising at all. But the week was great. A lot of work, and oh, what was I gonna say? My teams won over the weekend. Inter
Very
Miami
good.
with another win, undefeated so far. Detroit City FC, our local
Yeah.
team over here, also undefeated through 2 weeks. So very happy about that.
Nice, nice. Well, good for you. My weekends really, I spent the week teaching my third son to drive. This is
Ooh,
my so this is the youngest, and you know how teaching a teenage driver how to drive means, right? So there's always those fun stories, like which way is left, right? Like the brake slam syndrome. Like I don't know how many parents have like that sudden brake that almost get them flying to the windshield. And the talk about somebody at the back seat being the back seat driving, that it's always like, when you teach your, again, this is my third son, right? So that
yeah.
all of them actually, but two of my sons actually flying colors. They actually took it one time. I
Mm.
actually failed 3 times on my driving because I was not born here. I learned it when I was already, I would say, in almost the 30s, mid early 20s when I came here in the States, and I have a lot of those, I would say, bad habits. So
The bad habits, yes, yes.
I failed
The
that, but
offensive driving
yeah,
is
the
is
offensive
what.
driving. So I failed 3 times, but luckily, all of my kids, including Grace, what I taught to drive, all failed. Not failed, all passed, did not fail. So
That
that's
means
great. So
that means you were teaching them well, because I'd rather have a kid slam on the brakes than slam on the brakes super late.
that's true.
There's a video out there with the teenager driving the car, and the dad's
The
teaching,
cop,
and
and there's a cop in front. Is that what it is?
I know, I forgot if it was a cop, but then the teenager, like, he has no emotion, and then they hit something. I think they hit a mailbox or something, and the teenager was just no emotions, wasn't into it really. But I'd rather have the kids or break early and slam on the brakes than it's all muscle memory. They'll learn to get it. So you know,
Well, it's still he has 6 months before he get his driver license. So there's gonna be more stories. I'm gonna keep you guys posted of all those funny stories that's gonna happen. We haven't fought yet. That is the best thing.
it's
So
a good
stay
sign.
tuned. So yeah, that is really my weekend. So why don't we start the first segment of the show then, called the Neighborhood Watch? This is the time that we talk about what happened to the NBHC Ray Train before we introduce our guest. All right, so I'm just gonna show the flyer uh, on to yesterday's Raid Train. So let's see who we have. So yesterday's Raid Train was pretty darn good. It was an absolute fire. We have an insane lineup like every week from start to finish. We started with Vernigosh, who set the tone early with some high energy beats, getting us all hype up, like, every Sunday morning. Then after that, we went to X Via 2020 on the Bay Area, who took us a journey, mixing up those slick transitions and a lot of those classic house grooves. Then we went to DJ Aquarius, kept the energy flowing with the signature style. He has his own style, Pat, of how delivering. And there's
Mm,
some bangers there that got the chat a little bit crazy, but all good. Then we went from DJ Aquarius, I think he's in Northeast New York, to Cold
mm,
Storage in Utah. He had, as usual, underground, dark and driving sound, pure heat, but all on the house beat. It's funny though. I did ask him, "You're in Utah. Uh, how are you with soaking?" But that the chat kind of went crazy when I asked that
so
about
the so the
soaking.
chat reacted
Reacted on soaking. What
because
soaking means?
2 episodes ago they were our guests, right? And we never talked about
Yeah,
the
I
soaking.
never talk about what soaking is. And whoever's in the chat, if you're a Mormon, you know what soaking means, and we'll leave it at that. And then we went to Spain, across to
The pond.
Europe. DJ Emmy Masso brought a whole different energy, blending in some smooth yet pumping tracks for his set. From Spain, we went to Hawaii. Frank Amodo, our friend in Hawaii, great Filipino friend.
Oh,
This
I missed Frank
oh,
Omodo.
yeah,
Ooh,
he came back there. He always delivers. This time's no different. Has this perfect mix of funk, house, and he played, of course, a lot of his new mixes. Right, the whole his new produced mix it, and then I really appreciate that. And then we went to DJ Big C to Atlanta. Uh, keep everyone locked in on his set. Always straight up vibes. You have to check out DJ Big C. He
the
actually plays
legend.
four tracks tune up
Yeah, one of
always.
my favorites. One of my favorites.
And you have to check that out. How crazy, when he does that. Then we went to your neighbor Gillibird down in Michigan.
Yeah,
She brought her unique style, throwing down and some sick beats, and then kept everyone moving. And finally, we went to Shannon Rock's music back on the West Coast. She's doing her 3 years Twitch anniversary, and she was doing an his her sorry her our first 8 hour set.
no kidding.
Cra-
Wow.
yeah. So he started at I think 3 p.m. Eastern, and then till 11. Shannon is an NBHD OG. We
Yeah.
love her,
Also
and
guested on the show last
also
week.
guested on the show. Drop the tunes that set the night out on a high, closing out the NBHD Raid Train. So that's basically NBHD last Sunday. All right, so we got a lot of people already waiting to get the guest on, and they're being anxious on the backstage. So why don't you put them on the stage while I introduce them? So, Pat, I'm gonna add both of them. So we got NikkiDDj and SupaEXE. How's it going, guys? How are you? And thank you for joining the guys next door.
It's going
All
good.
right. Cheers.
Yeah,
Good evening, everybody.
yeah.
Good happy time zone.
Yeah. Thank you for
I
having us
want to
on.
do a Yeah, before I do, before let's do. I want to do a proper introduction. Well, I'm gonna do with Nikid first, right? Nikid holding it down in Portland, Oregon. We Everybody call him the Tech House King, known for his
Guru,
banging,
guru,
Guru.
banging. No, I'm
guru.
gonna
Yeah.
call it King. Known for banging bassline, hypnotic grooves, nonstop energy. Proud member of the High Vibes fam, bringing the underground sound to Twitch with pure fire. Uh, if you ever tune to these streams, you already know that he will deliver heat every time. Naked, thank you for joining the guys. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. Well, I'm gonna then introduce a Philly fam here on the other side.
Go
Red
birds.
the Eagles beanie there.
Go
We got an
birds.
artist. Go birds. We got an artist that takes music
Go
to a whole
birds.
different level. SupaEXE. He's a former music teacher. I think who mastered like 10 million instrument. I heard. Their love for the sound goes beyond a lot of genre, from pop to noise, that metal, name it, right? And did I mention he also created this festival I heard called Cyberpunk? So
Yes.
this DJ isn't just spinning tracks; they're shaping the future, the music culture on Twitch. SupaEXE from Philly. Go birds!
Go
Hey
birds.
Supa, how are you?
Cheers. I'm having a lovely Monday, and I hope you all are too.
Yeah, good.
I
Yeah,
see,
what we
I see Leb, I see Nikid, I see Freya, I see Fathom, I see Vi, I see Lena, I see a whole lot of people in here, and we're all just hanging out. I appreciate it.
That's really
Exactly.
what this is, right? So 8:30, we want you guys to hang out here and ask questions. I want you guys to ask questions. You can't do this on their channel. So this is the time to really ask them questions. And we're gonna go on our segment later on. But we want to know more about these two amazing streamers on Twitch. They come from two different cities, two different styles, but they both have one thing in common. Yeah, you can see it in the chat. They both build an incredible community. And so let's get to it. My first question really for you is, hey, how did you start? Twitch is my thing, right? So Nikit, everybody would like to know that if they have not. How did you start Twitch?
Yeah, so I actually started streaming on Twitch because during the pandemic, which I know is like when a lot of people kind of came onto Twitch specifically for music. And so I was a big part of the going out in like the electronic kind of music scene here in Portland. I'm originally from Seattle, but I moved to Portland about 5 years ago. So I grew up in Washington State and then kind of just ended up down here by chance. And one of the ways that I kind of found community here in Portland was through the music scene, because in Seattle I was kind of in that scene as well. So that was kind of how when I got down here, I kind of met a lot of people. And that was a really good way to meet people before the pandemic happened. And then, when the pandemic happened, I felt like I was integrated enough in the scene here, but I was missing, of course, like the IRL shows. And this was, I think at the time when I was actually taking a break from DJing, because I've been a DJ, I think for like 7 years now, but I did take a break. And that was kind of like, I think right before I moved to Portland. So when I moved here initially, I was not a DJ at all, but I was very active in the scene. And so being active and, wanting that and having the pandemic kind of take that away, I came to Twitch because of people like Desert Hearts and Sophie Tucker, who had all of their live streams and their communities on Twitch. And so just by happenstance, I had never even really heard of Twitch. I am a gamer now, but I was not really a gamer back then, and so I know that again, it was kind of like that gap period of time when I was taking a break from DJing and gaming as well, because I gamed when I was a kid, but then I wasn't really into Twitch or knew what Twitch was. Anyway, so with that being said, I kind of got onto Twitch because of music. And I was watching a lot of the music streams on Twitch during the pandemic. And I just kind of thought, like, I've DJ'd before, like maybe I could
Let's just try it. Yeah.
try doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did. So I had the cruddiest little webcam ever that I dug up, and I think I had from my office when I was working, and just set up like downstairs in the house that I was living in at the time. I was living with a bunch of roommates, so I was setting up all these props and cameras. They probably walked in and were like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like, I had all these lights and everything. And I just like did it one night, and that was like my first stream that I ever did on Twitch. I'm actually coming up on my 4-year affiliate anniversary.
Nice.
It's going to be at the very end of this month. Yeah, so we're going to do a big celebration subathon party on March 29th. So that's going to be in a couple Saturdays. So yeah, we're coming up on the anniversary of that community, and yeah, that's basically how I got started. I was also a musician, like pretty much growing up my entire life. I played the flute, the violin for years. Like learn how to read music, was in choir. My grandmother was a piano teacher. My dad played the tuba and was a tap. I come from like a very like musical family.
Did you play tap dancing? You do tap dance too?
Yeah, and then
You do.
and then my great so my family is Portuguese, and my great grandfather Edmundo Nunes is his name. Created the first patent for the ukulele, which the instrument that a lot of people know is the ukulele. And I guess they were Hawaiian Portuguese. I have a lot of family from Hawaii, and so they were also, I think, like the first people that were kind of settling in Hawaii, like at that time. Because Hawaii was very big Portuguese population, and so. But yeah, but he had the patent basically stolen by a Hawaiian guy. So that's why the ukulele is known as a Hawaiian instrument, but it's actually
we have to find that guy who stole
yeah,
that patent.
yeah,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There has to be an investigation.
Or it's not Edmundo, it's Manuel Nunes. Manuel's a very
I have to find that.
Name. But yeah, so very, very beating around the bush with that question. And I probably talked for way too long, but yeah. So
no, it's
a little
good.
bit about me.
I learned a lot personally.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, speaking of playing a lot of instrument, Supa, I mean, you started as a gamer. Did you start a game, or you started on Twitch first? But you were a gamer and on Twitch, and you also play a million instruments. What's up with you guys? You're playing all these instruments. So is that how you got started on Twitch?
So yes, I believe I've been streaming in total now for 5 years. If not exactly 5, I'm coming up on 5 years total.
Nice.
The first little over a year, I was strictly gaming, but at some point, at some point, I was just like, okay, I'm getting tired of. I'm getting tired of, because the one thing about streaming, I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we're exhausted, is the one thing that I got the most tired of, especially having to do as a gamer, was make content and being the one that's the face of that content.
Right.
And at some point, I felt super burned out. But at some point, I believe very specifically, not I believe, actually, no, I talk about this all the time during the festival that you brought up that I throw every year, Humanity. I believe I came across this this festival ran by Porter Robinson. It's called Secret Sky. I came across that in the middle of the pandemic, and during that festival, I was watching it, completely like super locked down. I'm talking like this was maybe like June of 2020. We were super locked down at that point. I watched that festival, and at some point, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should buy my first DJ deck. And I know for a very long time I've been, because again, I think the last time I counted, it was 8 different instruments. I'd considered DJing.
You're not.
my late brother, he DJ'd DJ'd at some point. I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I could pick this up too, but it's so expensive. But at some point after I watched Secret Sky, I'm like, let me really do the research here. I'm like, you know what? I think I can afford $200 because we were getting the stimulus checks too. So I used a portion of that stimulus check and got a little DDJ 400. And now there's, fast forward 5 years later, there's an XZ sitting in front of my face. So it's been quite a journey, that's for sure.
That's amazing. Amazing. I got to ask, you said you're a Dreamcast lover. That's a Dreamcast behind you, right?
I do. I specifically, I do have a Dreamcast, but this that you see, that's my.
Oh, it's a GameCube.
Yeah,
Oh shit, that's a GameCube.
Yep. That's the GameCube.
Oh my god.
Me. That's the slight, like, the little attachment beneath it. That's the thing that lets you play Game Boy Advance games. You can just stick it right in. Then there's a CD. Then you can just play it on the big screen. That's my whole. At least what I have left. I had a much bigger collection before I moved out of my mom's place, like 5-6 years ago. I think 6 years ago sounds about more right. I had a much bigger collection than this, and even bigger before I decided to sell a bunch of it to my old job. I used to fix. That's the other thing too. I also used to fix and repair retro games too. That's why slightly out of the camera. There's slightly out of the camera. I'm gonna see if I can get it here. There we go. Right there. That's the NES that I fixed and managed to take back home. Yep.
I used to be a gamer before, because, and with my kids, my kids is 30 years old. So you see, is the thing about those kids back then, because I'm a gamer, they don't need to ask me, hey dad, do you buy this? Because I always fall in line, and Pat knows that I always fall in line the first day things come out. Right. Until probably Xbox 2. And after that, I fell down, bottom there. I don't do it anymore, but it's great, just.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, I think, and I firmly believe that video games are for everybody. One of the things that I like a lot about not just how video games are, but how video games have always been, is just there's always something for everybody. And especially as people get older, like in my case, I'm getting less and less and less time to be able to game like I used to when I was, say, 16. But there's still something out there for me that I can really sink my teeth into, at least a little bit, where I'm able to say I had a good time. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, wait until you get into 40s.
Gaming, that's for sure.
It will definitely drop when you start gaming. But you are both gamers, so just curious about that. You stream, you both stream DJing and also stream games. What do you think is the biggest difference, and what's the pros and cons there? Which is harder, I guess. That's going to be my question.
So, in my opinion, Nick, I don't remember how long you said you were game streaming, but I know in my personal year and a half that I spent gaming, the biggest difference I immediately noticed, the first thing that I said when I first started DJing was, it feels nice to be able to just let the music do the talking. So earlier today, for example, something that a lot of people have been really enjoying, very thankfully, very modestly, is where I have I have 2 days a week, I have a no mic session where it's just, I'm typing in the chat and I'm playing music. And it's really, really, really nice to be able to just, like I said, let the music do the talking. I don't have to constantly think about what kind of joke can I crack to get people to engage in the chat, or I don't have to worry about what some people call clip farming, right? Where, for example, I'm doing stupid stuff in a game, or I'm saying stupid stuff on camera just so I can, get something to post on social media. I don't have to do that when I'm DJing.
How about you, Nick? What you think it's?
I think that's a good point, and I think that more so for me, I think that part of my fear, I think, with getting into, and I just put it in the chat, but I think that part of my fear with getting into gaming is that, so because I got into Twitch via the music channel, that was kind of all I knew, and I feel like for a while, and especially with knowing gamers that have come over from like the gaming side to be DJs, a lot of them have told me, like, it's really nice because I feel like I can just kind of like be myself a little more, and I don't have to like fit into a mold, because I've heard, and again, this is not, a generalization at all, but that the gaming community and the streams it can be a lot more rigid, and you kind of have to like play the same game all the time to get the same community, and it can be very toxic and very exclusive, and it's harder to grow. And so I think like, that kind of scared me away from wanting to get more into gaming. But I think finding the right group to game with is essential. I mean, I play games with Lebcats in the chat, who's in our chat right now, and she really kind of took me in, and we have a great kind of gaming crew. And it's important to, I think, game and stream if you go that route with people that you're really comfortable with, because you can mute out all the other assholes in the game and turn your chat off, but it's nice to have teammates, and people to play with and things like that. So
so with that though, do you guys think that the DJ has I would say the DJ viewers are more loyal than the gaming viewers because of that chat engagement? Do you think that's true?
I don't think so. I think it's a different type of engagement, because I think with gaming, it's a lot more. I think there's similarities and I think there's differences. I think that the community building is very similar, and I think that the fostering of community is almost identical. But I think there is a lot of difference in terms of kind of what people expect out of a DJ stream versus like a gaming stream. I think gaming is actually a lot harder, only because you kind of have to adapt a lot more, I feel like, in your content. And again, going back to, a lot of people that game on Twitch say that you have to play the same game a lot to get a following.
Right.
And things like that. And you have to kind of stay in your lane. But also DJing could be like that too. I mean, some people on Twitch say that, as a DJ, that you have to play the same genre all the time, or you have to let your community know what genre you're playing. And I don't do that anymore. I've actually completely moved away from really like labeling a lot of my sets. Like I'll still do mostly one genre the whole night, but I've kind of moved away from the entire like promoting certain streams as one thing or another, because at the end of the day, I don't feel like people are coming to your stream to hear really a specific style of music. I feel like most of the time people are coming because of you.
Kudos to you. That's very refreshing that you're able to do that. That's
not easy.
I'm sure it isn't.
And it's kind of scary at first. And you're like, and I think because at first when I was streaming and DJing, like I was labeling everything, promoting everything as a certain genre. And I think it just comes off kind of stale, I think, after a while.
Do you feel the same way on that one, Supa? I mean, do you have a different, separate, similar experience?
Absolutely identical. I would even add that and Fumalina, my girlfriend in the chat, she asked me earlier, a little bit before, I don't remember whether it was immediately before this or a day or two before. So anyways, it was basically like, what I mentioned specifically was that I mostly, especially in the very beginning, I would mostly play what I would be booked for in real life, and also what people would actively tell me in chats they constantly wanted to hear. Now, as someone who actively wanted to grow, as someone who is actively engaging in a bunch of different communities, I also knew that as I tried to grow my community by merging mine with others, I knew that, some people, a lot of people did not like what I was constantly getting booked for, what I would constantly play on stream, which was a lot of faster music, a lot more hardcore, harsh in the ear music, so to speak. That's what I was primarily getting booked for. Which is fine. I was more than fine with that at the time, because that's what my core community wanted. But at the same time, I also knew that if I wanted to grow by merging my community with others as well, knowing what their interests were, I knew that I wanted, not that I'm not going to say that I had to, I said that that was a conscious choice that I made, where I wanted to try and tune it down a little bit, specifically for other people's needs. And again, that's going back to what Nick is saying, where again, just like gaming, there's a little bit of a push and pull, so to speak. where I'm trying to figure out what exactly do people want, what exactly are people going to stick around for, what exactly are people going to be open to what new stuff people are going to be interested in hearing in the first place, because not everyone's interested in listening to new stuff in the first place.
Right. And with your own community, do you get some feedbacks of what that is during your show? I know you guys have big Discord, teams there. Do you get feedback in your community? Because I know community is a huge part of what we do, or even for us in NMAC, what we do on Twitch. Do you get feedback on how to improve that, or how to make that better, at least for your channel?
I think I personally, I will be fully transparent about this. I would like to have more feedback. I would desperately like to have more feedback, because I personally find that sometimes I do have to just kind of just guess, because that's just sort of the nature of things, not just in the context of an online space like Twitch, but also just in general. Not everybody is going to explicitly tell me what they want, because not everybody is going to know what they want in the first place. And then but also I think that's the fun of it as well, is just kind of figuring it out, because I think that also benefits me, is just seeing what I would like. I could easily, for example, be like, okay, I know there's a whole lot of, for example, off the immediate top of my head, I know there's a lot of house streams. I know that there's a whole lot of house on my drive, because that's what I started out playing. But what would be a fun middle ground between, for example, 150 BPM techno, 160 BPM techno, and like 125 tech house? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I have landed on is something that I'm very thankful is gaining more popularity, which is like that like old school, like 140, like you can't really tell whether it's house or techno or trance type of, the kids are calling it hard groove these days.
The
But
kids.
yeah.
Never heard of
I
it.
mean, my grandkids now to do that. But Nick, to that point though, I know you have redemption back in the day. I know you still have it. Like you actually play a lot of genre. Is that your way of getting your feedback now of what kind of vibe you're gonna do, or where you're gonna go for that night that you're streaming?
I think back in the day, yeah, just to get a feel, and I think like that is a good segue to the point of like, I 1,000% agree with Supa on that. I think that when you first start and even deep into your journey, you are doing a lot of guesswork.
Yeah.
And I was literally like sitting here 100% agreeing with you on the fact that you said that you want all the feedback that you can get, because that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I've been streaming for almost 4 years, so I'm trying to figure out still to this day like what's working and like what's not working, and what to add and what to take away, and what to make more simplified and what to grow on. And so I always look to take feedback, and I think I'm kind of doing that even more now, just because it did take a little bit of a like a mental health break from like, I would say like the later half of the year, like last year into the new year, just due to like mental health reasons, personal reasons. And I think that when you take a break like that, although it's necessary that you do that in times like that, I mean, I can't be a bigger advocate for that. It's going to disrupt things, but your mental health is always 1,000 times more
Come back
important
stronger.
than anything that you're working towards. So I am grateful that I did that, but there is that period of you do kind of have to build things up when you come back, and I think that I was on a good kind of steady pace, and coming back is always a little bit more difficult. And so I think basically to round out my point, I think now I'm trying to figure out more about my newer community, because communities always change in terms of who is kind of more a part of it and who's maybe not there at that current time. It's always kind of shuffling around, and so I think that's another thing, is you kind of have to get to know your community like in the current moment, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. I think is get to know my current community a lot better, and kind of not fix the stream towards them, but take them more into consideration, and in terms of planning things, and community goals and building and things like that.
And to really quickly add on to the community always changes too, then again, that's something else that I took into consideration as well, is because again, I have been streaming for a total of almost 5 years now, where I started out with a bunch of gamers, and then I started out with gamers and people who, you know, they were really into chiller music, and I slowly got faster, and then people are like, yeah, I really like this faster stuff.
Right.
And then I have a bunch of goblins that are like, I just want shit that's absolutely unlistenable.
Goblins, I love
Right,
it.
the
Kind of
goblins,
gremlins. Yeah,
the
yeah,
goblins, the gremlins, whatever they
yeah,
may be. And I see you all in chat. You know who you
yeah.
are. Um, that
Yeah.
being
Well,
that right, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like, the community absolutely always changes, and for no fault of one's own, some people may just not be seen there as much anymore. But unfortunately, that does also force me to make a decision based on the people who are more consistently there, and what they have conversed to me saying that they would like to enjoy, and what they would stay for. And then, of course, the guesswork required as far as people who have not been here yet, the first time chatters.
right. Well, still touching about the community, people could say that sometimes community can be too tight knit, wherein sometimes it end up pushing new people away. Right. I heard some people talk about that. Do you think? I mean, do you think that's true, or if you agree, and how can you prevent that? Let's start with you first, Supa.
As far as preventing people from pushing them away, just to make sure I heard the question right.
Yeah, because there's some people are afraid to go to that community. There's too tight knit, right? You know, they're so close, and ended up, oh, I might be outcasted. I don't think I belong. You know, how do you prevent that from happening, because you want your community to grow, right?
Right. So I think the way that I personally go about it, or at least try to, I don't even want to say that I try to prevent it. I think that I try to minimize it, because there's only
Yep.
so much preventing that I can do. I will say that I do take active steps to consistently find new people, whether that be through raid trains, whether that
Yeah.
be something that I push all the time is people that do not use Twitch. That's definitely the number one thing that I push, is trying to pull more people onto the platform. Where and there have been a couple people that do not use this platform very often. They're like, this is pretty cool, and now they're frequent flyers.
Yeah.
So just constantly really trying to grow that crowd. So this way people don't feel that, this way I don't feel like, you know, I'm stuck. This way people don't feel like they're stuck. And again, I think I'm understanding the question correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
That's
cool,
great, yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I do. Similar to what Real Ass said. Real Ass said this. How do you keep it from becoming a clique or more of a close community?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think something else that I want to add, as well, is one of the things that I say all of the time, is that the world is a lot bigger than it seems. And as someone who is a non-binary person, a trans non-binary person, as someone who has a lot more melanin in their skin, there's a lot of people who may not feel as though they have that representation on this platform. That's why we have all these different guilds that are officially sponsored by Twitch, for example, on the very tip of the iceberg. It's so people can realize, hey, we are here, we exist. You just need to show your pretty little faces. That's it.
Agree.
So it's, and me and the way that I run my space, the way that I run my stream, is very, and has been for a very long time, in such a way where people can know without even saying a word in the stream this is who we are. This is who we have always been. This is who we are going to be. And I do not want this to come off as a closed community, because this is just get in here, show your pretty little faces whenever you feel comfortable doing so.
Very good point. Very good point. Nikki, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and I think it's about your intentions too, because I think there are people that do what we do on Twitch, I think, for their own reasonings, and I think there's people that do what we do on Twitch for the communities and people out there. And this isn't, to say it in a like a demonizing way or anything like that, but I think that everybody's intentions are different, and I think you can really see that reflected in the communities. And I think when your sole intention is just to build the community up to get you somewhere, it ends up building up, but it's not it's like you were saying, it's almost more closed off, and it's not very welcoming to new people that might have just found it like a day ago or whatever. And so I think that having good intentions behind what you're doing and reminding yourself, I think, too, why you're doing it is really important, because at the end of the day, like, you're trying to nurture the community for the good of them. And I think that there are people that, unfortunately, they just want to grow a community to kind of self-serve. And so I think that that's
on agenda.
Those are the communities that you've seen that are a little more closed off. And I think that really reflects back. So I always try to just keep things consistent. This is an open, welcoming space for people. We all treat each other like family. I feel like in my stream, even with, like the newer people that come in, we try to do that. All of my mods do a great job with that. So yeah, I don't think I've ever run into that before, but
there's one more thing I do want to quickly add on to that as well, is because, again, this is also something that we touched on a little bit earlier, is being able to integrate, for example, the gamers with the people who DJ. So again, speaking specifically like you, like Leb and Nickid, for example, there was the kind of like a switch where Leb only gamed, Nickid, you basically only DJ'd, and now right, exactly. That's just one small example, but the reason why I specifically bring that up is because, again, I personally know for a fact that as I got deeper and deeper and deeper and more consistently into DJing, I slowly lost the people who would frequent my streams for the gaming content. So in order to continue preventing a closed community, so I can continue meeting more people who may not be as into music, like they could be a fantastic gamer and also an artist off the top of my head, but they don't really know music like that. I still want to show them that they are welcome, and however I can, and do my best to do collaborations, not just with other DJs, but also with other gamers, other artists, other co-working streamers, whoever. Exactly. And especially because of all the different tools that we are being given on this platform, I think it's slowly becoming easier. I do think there's better ways to go about it, but that's a whole other conversation.
It's great. That's how we grow, right? Even in NBHD, we try to open it up, not just for different communities on DJing, also for the singers, right? I know Grace have been following a lot of like Filipina, or not even Filipina singers. So on Twitch, it's just how, we help each other out. We're DJing, it's all into music anyway. And to your point, Supa, even the artists, right? I think this is just a way for us to be in one big community, and it's always been really the goal of NBHD. Meeting you guys, meeting everybody that we have known across our path. But in the community, what do you think is the red flag that you see? What's a red flag that sometimes the community become toxic? What do you think is that, if you ever encounter it? I mean, I guess so far you guys are a great community, have not seen anything, or is there anything that came up during your growth building the community that you saw one red flag, and what that is? And have you ever removed somebody from the community?
Yeah, I think that it's really easy to tell people's intentions immediately. Like just like I said with streamers, I think it's very easy to tell when people come into a chat what their intentions are. And I think that the more that you stream, the more you start to understand. You get kind of better at understanding like maybe who might need to be watched a little more in a chat and who's going to be totally fine. But I don't think I've had any really awful experiences. Like I had one guy come in and say like, why are you touching that knob or turning that knob?
Just
It doesn't do anything. And I'm like, yes, it does. Like, you know, I like people do dumb shit like that, or stuff. But I think also like communities, especially like the ones that I know, and my community is like this too, and a lot of people's communities are very, especially in the DJ sector, very like self-policing. And what I mean by that is I think that not only the mods, but I think all of the viewers will kind of band together if somebody is being a little like not cool in the chat. Like some people will take it upon themselves to not even mods, but kind of self-regulate and remind people, hey, like, you know, you're kind of being rude or doing this or whatever. And so I think, yeah, I think that just kind of goes back to having a good community and you know, trusting the people that are there to kind of help foster it. And you know, if somebody's not down with that, then knowing that they'll kind of help out. But yeah.
But Super, have you banned you have removed anybody that you know went in because of that bad vibes?
I definitely have. I definitely have multiple times, and generally speaking, the way that I how can I word this delicately? Don't
hold back.
Generally speaking, what I look out for, one of the things that I hold the most, one of the things that I hold the most priority in my community is people who are not men. I hold those communities of people by far of the most priority because, for example, racism, for example, transphobia, for example, homophobia, for example, what's the other one? Fucking people who are just fucked up to people who have a disability. Those all of those isms, so to speak, those are the things I hold of the highest regards, and it is very easy for me to have some sort of idea of what their intentions are and what my next move should be as far as removing them from the community. And because my community that I have busted my fucking ass to build over the past couple years is so tight knit, generally speaking, it does not take long for me to know whether that happened in real time during the stream, whether it happens later. It has not taken long for me to find out, and that's something that I can safely say that not a lot of people do, while still touting the "we are a diverse community" thing. And this is going to be my hot take. Not all diverse communities, in quotations, are good communities. That's going to be my hot take.
That's great. You know, I mean, speaking of like the strong communities, to your point, right? One thing for me that makes Twitch special, at least from my experience, 97% is, to your point, how diverse and inclusive it can be. I know both of you are a big proponent of LGBTQ community in particular, and built an amazing presence on this platform. To what Supa is saying, you know, but can you? What has been your full experience with that? Do you think Twitch? I know we make it like that, but do you think it's done enough for that community in general?
Absolutely not. I think that as someone who has been on Twitch, I remember when they first enacted the all of these different things during the, some of you may remember when hate raids were at the very peak.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when they first enabled the not just your email but your phone number, being able to add that as an extra layer of verification. I remember that. I even, on my stream deck, there's a button that I still have programmed. I call that the kill switch button. What that button does and makes it, and this is because Twitch did not have that enacted, I still have that programmed on my stream deck where it automatically, in one button push, it turns on emote only, it resets the chat, it puts everything on an
Wow.
ad thing. Like, it's all in one button push. It's because I'm prepared for that. And that's because I don't think that I think that Twitch is getting better at that. Absolutely. I still want to give them credit where it's due, because it's 2025 is much different compared to Twitch in 2022. And don't even get me started on Twitch back in like 2015. That was a whole other mess.
Wow.
That was a wild west. But they are getting better. I do want to give them credit where it's due. But I will also say there is a reason why I have a kill switch button on my stream deck.
Do you feel the same way, Naked, than that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that Twitch definitely has places to grow in terms of things like that. I tend to rely on a Siri bot, which is a really good thing to add to your channel that kind of will take care of stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like, going back to Supa's point, there was a time when like that wasn't an option. And I think that like being queer or gay or especially right now trans, I think that having a good community, I think, is imperative to keeping people out like that, and especially having a community that really resents you, or not resents you, that is not the term I meant to say, represents your identity that you're pushing for. That creates a good barricade, I think, in your community to kind of let people know. It's kind of like, like poisonous animals in the wild, they'll always be really brightly colored and striped. It's a good way of saying, like, hey, don't fuck with me, or don't fuck with this community, so I think that that helps a lot too.
Yeah, I feel I feel the same. Like Twitch, although they will say during June, like Pride Month, they're just fucking rainbow washing it, saying I'm inclusive. But I think for us, it's our job as our own community to help promote that and to really
promote it the right way.
Promote the right way, express it, really do the right thing. And it's not just your bandwagoning because everybody's doing it, so Twitch doing it. So for me, I feel the same way.
Yeah. And I do also want to add as well, just to really really a reminder that we are still in the middle of Women's History Month, and it is no secret. It is absolutely no secret that women are mistreated on this platform. Women, non-binary people, feminine presenting people. It is no secret that that's a whole issue. It's absolutely no secret.
It's an ongoing issue. I mean, not one that I personally know about, but yeah, like female streamers that I know, that the amount of them that have had to deal with just so many levels of abuse, like
and that's precisely why I say, even outside of this month, the circles of people that I consistently have the most priority over are people who are not cis men, is because I want to ensure they at least have one fucking space on the whole mess that has been the internet for as long as I've been terminally online for my entire life. It's a wild west out here. So that's personally how I run things, and seeing other people on this platform not treated the same way drives me insane at best.
Yeah. Well, you felt like that on Twitch, but you're in Philly, you're in Portland. How about in your local area, in your own city, right? Do you think you have enough local support in that? Because I know we talk about Twitch, but every city that we asked this question. We had a guest a few episodes ago. They're down in the South, wherein they don't have a lot of support. They are in North Carolina, where they only see a few. But on where you guys at right now locally, do you feel you have done enough support? I know what's going on in Philly, Supa, but you can tell more about that. But how about you, Nick? On Portland?
Yeah, I think that Portland has a great network of DJs out here. I think that there's a really good mix of different styles of music, and also not just DJs, but we also have a really well known rock and metal and scenes here as well. And so I think that Portland's music culture is definitely a melting pot. I think that Portland is also very white, if I'm going to be honest. And I think that, coming from the Pacific Northwest, like I have found myself craving more diversity, especially living in Portland, which is just very Caucasian. And so, but I think that, from the DJ perspective, the community here is great. But yeah, I have definitely been trying to seek out more non-traditional spaces, I think, in Portland lately because of that. And I think that going forward, if I ever do move anywhere, it's probably going to be somewhere that has a little bit more diversity in its population. I'm from Seattle originally, and I feel like Seattle had a lot more diversity, specifically with like the Asian American population in Seattle is very large, and the Filipino community actually in Seattle is very large as well. And so so I think that I miss kind of being around people that are of different cultures. I think it really helps broaden your perspective a lot, and I think that I kind of miss that. But also I think you can find that anywhere as long as you're looking in the right places. So
that's true. How about the scene in Philly, Supa?
I'm going to be very forefront about this. If you want to be a black and if you are a black and brown person that is LGBT, considering that first of all, Philadelphia is fantastic. And then 2 hours north, we have also New York City, which is also known as a haven for all sorts of everyone.
Yep.
And I'm very, very, very thankful. I'm incredibly thankful that I'm able to use my platform not just for finding people of these diverse communities that already use this platform to stream, but also to invite other people, and there are a lot of them here in the city, like a lot, to this circle, that this online community, and so they can be connected with people across like like 4 digits worth of miles away. There are a lot of different people here in Philadelphia. There's a lot of history in Philadelphia. I want to say, I think shout out Devel. Actually, I was telling him before he moved to Chicago was his most recent move. I was telling him, hey, listen, I know you're currently out in wherever the hell, the middle of nowhere, right before he moved out of California. I think, where the hell did he move? I don't remember.
Wisconsin. I think he wants Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I was like, where the hell is Wisconsin? Anyways.
Yeah.
I told
spoken
him,
like a true Philadelphian.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I told him, listen, if you want to move anywhere, I suggest moving to Chicago, because not only is Chicago the literal birthplace of house music, it has one of the biggest pride celebrations in at least the entire United States.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to chime in too, like, because we're from a very, well, not a super small town, but super conservative town here. We got 125 banks and 200 churches that you can see around here. Very white as well. So whenever we leave this town, and we visit Philly, visit Chicago a lot, visit Detroit, Miami, the diversity just is just refreshing for us, not just for food, music, kinds of people that we see. Like we are very like Wisconsin here, so it's a big challenge to expand your horizons musically as well as your creative uh, things that you want to achieve. So uh, very difficult. So I we look forward to visiting your towns really, and
Yeah,
it's very refreshing. Yeah.
Philadelphia is absolutely fantastic. If I always tell people, if you don't want to, first of all, if you plan on driving anywhere, don't go to New York City. You're at least if you like, if you want New York City vibes, but you still want to be able to use your car, go to Philadelphia. Like
Yeah,
go
agree.
2 hours south, hang out in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Get a lot of
Otherwise,
people get
good
there.
luck.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
it's a lot of
If
fam here.
yeah, if you want fantastic, like if you're into house, if you're into soul, if you're into hip hop, if you're into R&B, if you're into, I don't know, breaks, if you're into artwork, like there's a whole lot of that in Philadelphia. And the best part is you can actually drive around. You don't have to be in New York. And I love New York. To be clear, I absolutely love New York. It's just
Just stay away in Midtown. Stay away in Midtown and take everything else.
Exactly. It's like, and again, I'm saying this as somebody who my mom is from Brooklyn. My mom's from Brooklyn. I absolutely know what's up with New York. I haven't been there. These days, the only time I'm there is when somebody books me to play a show there. Other than that, I kind of just keep myself chill in Philadelphia. That's my context, but I do actively tell people, hey, listen, if you're going to be in the area, check out New York, check out Philadelphia. In fact, actually, again, shout out Vernigosh, who was on Neighborhood Train yesterday. I meant to go say hi to him when he visited New York. I think it was a couple months ago. Yeah, and I don't know. I think he said he was coming back. I just don't remember when.
You should visit Philly. Well, Grace and I, if somebody from Twitch, even to New York, Supa, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours from us, right? We always meet a lot of people there. So let us know if you're there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do say though, Portland though, for me, I'm a foodie. I love a lot of restaurants in Portland.
If you love food, hold on, pal. I might have to fight Portland.
I was gonna say, like Philly, like the food in Portland is very good, but like Philly is also a food city.
Philly is a food town.
Philly,
it really is.
It's totally underrated too. So
I know a lot. Hit me up in Philly. Grace and I go to every food spot that you can think of in Philly, but Portland though has a lot of these new up and coming. That's why I want that alone. I want to visit Portland. But just speaking of that there's just really two different cities, right? Even the music, like Portland, you have this city that has a strong indie electronic scene, right? On Portland, right? And then all about chill vibe, and now you got Supa from Philly. That's different beast altogether. It's that raw energy that the Philly bring, right? That history of house music, not like Chicago, but also hip hop, grittier, edgier for sure. But for them, there's a balance, right? So
I think that's what I crave most, or I think that's what I'm missing so much in Portland is like like I said before, like the music scenes here are very rooted more in instrumental music, and I think that the electronic scene is relatively new here, and so it does kind of it is a little bit kind of, what's the word, like lackluster, I guess, like not having that history of house music or electronic music in the city. But I think that the newer scene here is great. And I think that Portland is a lot of just like you said, very indie kind of crowd and very underground. And I think that Portland does have a lot of very good underground spaces for any kind of electronic music, and a lot of them are very geared towards being wanting to book LGBTQ BIPOC people as a priority, giving a lot of people like spaces like that in the community to play music. And I think that the crowds are also reflective in that as well. I think that's actually where you find a lot of diversity in Portland is in the underground music scene here. But yeah,
Okay.
I've always had a lot of respect for Portland in that sense. Again, this is well before I even started doing DJ stuff.
Right.
I was very big into Midwest emo, for example. Like I was very
What's a Midwest? What is a Midwest emo?
Never heard of that either.
I don't even know how to start I don't even know how to start describing that. But there's a very specific. There's an incredibly specific sound to the point where I think there might even be a like a Wikipedia page. But anyways, there's a whole very specific genre for specifically Midwest emo or Midwest instrumentalist bands from the general area of like Portland or anything that's a little bit more east, but still Midwest. It's all been very, very, very centered on people who are LGBT plus, people who are very fond of the underground and what is not the norm, indie, if you will. I've always had a lot of respect for Portland in that sense. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, come visit. Coming up.
Nice.
I'm working on it.
I'll come to Philly at some point.
Well, there's one thing though that Portland is probably ahead of Philly. We're gonna talk about the big 420, right? So 420.
Yes.
So Portland's obviously known for
you got me on that one.
Well,
you got me on that one.
420 friendly, but okay, Philly's catching up. You can find it in some corners in Broad Street, or everywhere. But you know, Nickid, you know, you're a big
an
promoter of
enthusiast.
that. An enthusiast, right. So have you ever had backlash of doing that for some people outside of community of doing the socials? You know, you guys do?
Yeah, I think that, so it's funny. This is a great question, and I love this. So because I love talking about this. I think that so when I started streaming, I think at the time I was still, smoking cannabis. And I think that when I started, I tried to like kind of keep it off stream a little bit. And I think honestly, I don't think that was a bad idea, because I think when you start, you're so preoccupied on doing everything else that it doesn't really feel necessary to add something else into the mix. But I think that once you start knowing your community and getting more comfortable with people, I think that things just kind of naturally become a part of the stream. And I think that, you know, when I started like using cannabis like on stream, I think that like some people might have like left or maybe had like a different opinion. But I mean, honestly, like when you're a content creator, that's good. I mean, you want to be able to find people that you actually resonate with, and especially people, you know, too, that, you know, might not, you know, do the same things as you, but aren't judgmental about it. And I think that that's also brings to a good point of like having mutual respect. Like I will always let my viewers know, like, you know, I've even said it on stream before, you know, I know that marijuana is not for everybody, cannabis is not for everybody, and I'll say that. And you know, that's why I think at a certain point in time I rebranded it as a social, just to make it more inclusive for that. Because on Twitch, I mean, the TOS says that as long as you are in a state that is recreationally legal, that you are able to stream whatever is recreationally legal. So that's the loophole. So me being in Oregon, I am totally, you know, allowed to do that, I guess, to a degree.
Absolutely.
But I think that but yeah, I think that you know, it grows with you, you know, and I know some people too that they consume cannabis, but they never do it on stream, just because of, you know, they might have a different viewpoint on it as a professional thing, or they might be really ADHD and they think that it makes them more so, or things like that. I think everybody has their reasons, but I think for me, it's always kind of been a part of my community, at least for the last couple of years, with the way it's grown. And I think now it's a cornerstone. So I think it'd be weird if I didn't I didn't toke up on stream now, but people would be like, "What's going on?" But I have cut down on drinking a lot. I used to drink a good amount on stream, and as of January, what started as kind of like a dry January thing has kind of led into not really consuming alcohol a lot, if ever, very rarely now. So I think that having cannabis as something that's still there, I think is nice, in the absence of that, especially. So.
How about you, Supa? You are a big proponent of it. What's your take there?
So similar deal as Nikki. Technically speaking, it's not recreationally legal here. I can't just walk out. I can't. It's not as easy. It's not.
Is it not in Pennsylvania?
No, it's fucking not, dude. It's crazy. That's what we're laughing. Like, that's the one thing
That's
that Portland.
crazy.
So,
I did not know that.
Yeah,
You would think they'd be one of the first,
right? Yeah,
right. So,
Liberty Bell and everything.
Right, and again, it's also funny because I'm gonna this has layered points here. So first and foremost, right? It's really frustrating that if I want to go, if and I do this all the time, every time I go up to New York. That's the other reason why I like going to New York, other than just being in New York when I'm booked. And it is literally as easy to buy a hoagie as it is to buy an eighth. It is literally just as easy.
Right,
Exactly. It's a hoagie. It's a hoagie. Don't get me started.
People
Go
say
birds.
so.
Go
I'm
birds.
a hoagie
Go
guy.
birds. No, but really though.
Yeah.
It's whereas here in Philadelphia or the whole of Pennsylvania, you still have to have a medical card, which requires a whole bunch of extra steps. So technically speaking, as far as TOS goes for Twitch, they're not going to be asking me for a medical card before they ban me. They're just like, all right, well, it's legal enough, so you're allowed to, which I also used to do. To bring it back to the point here, I used to smoke on stream, not much, but I used to smoke on stream. Now I don't at all. I leave. How my socials work on my stream these days is during the no mic streams I have. Well, first I have regular socials, which is just everybody just in whatever. Well, the phrase that I use is whatever floats your boat, creams your corn, butters your biscuit, greases your gears. That's usually what I say. Whatever it is, whether that's water, tea, whatever it is that makes you, please, by all means. But I do have another separate social that is explicitly labeled schmot social. That's what it is. Where of my choice, I would either smoke or I would take a shot. These days, especially if anybody has tuned in to the past couple streams for the past month and a half, I've explained many times, I'm not going to be smoking on stream anymore. If I do, it's only going to be for extremely special occasions and extremely small amounts, and those special occasions 95% of the times are going to be on high vibes raid trains. That's it.
Nice. That's a place you have to do it.
Right.
You have to be in high vibes.
I think that's exactly how it's been with me and alcohol. I think I will still have especially the celebration streams, I'll do shots or whatever, but other than that.
Right, exactly. And that's what I mean. My regular, my 2 out of the 3 streams that are set in stone for the week, that extra special schmot social where I'm choosing one or the other, so to speak, I just have those completely turned off. But the reason, and part of the reason why I've been trying to really push my Friday streams, because these days they haven't really been as hype as the main 2 days, which is wild to me, because those are the ones where I'm not on the mic. But anyways, those are the designated party days, the designated
party days.
Day. Right, exactly, because it's Friday and it's late for I start those streams at 11 p.m. on a Friday. That's party time.
That's my bedtime.
Right, exactly. It's my bedtime, but I'm making it work, Coops. I'm making it work.
Yeah. but on the fourth on the weed thing, right? I think I'm calling out Twitch for being hypocritical here. Because why is weed a big deal when there's so much other controversial stuff that gets a pass on Twitch, and you know what those are. We're not gonna talk
Oh,
about them
yeah,
because
I know what you mean.
we're gonna get like
Yeah.
3 hours just talking about that, right? So
Mhm.
I think Twitch can ban this show right now. I'm just saying that. I think you're being hypocritical, just saying, you can't do weed, blah blah blah. But I do have a question, Supa. I know you're pushing for partner. So if Twitch gave you a choice, quit smoking on stream and get a partner, would you do it?
I'm already working on that. I've already.
Yeah,
I've
I think
already,
you should.
like
Should
I've
be asking
already,
me.
yeah, like
Would you-
I've already quit smoking, and
All right.
as of today, I am 3 points away from the 75 average.
There you go. All
So,
right.
like,
You guys
nice.
did it.
Oh, nice.
Let's get that. Let's help Supa on that one.
Easy
Oh, did you
question.
guys? Yeah. Did you guys? Oh, just did you ever time, Nikki, that things went off the rails when you were?
Oh, so yeah, so I think I've definitely had like some chaotic streams, for sure. So when I started streaming, I had like a lot more like primitive equipment. So like now I have like a PC that I've built, that I've had for like a couple years, like good camera, good internet. But when I started, I think a lot of I think DJs like go through this, and streamers, when you start off, you're not really always working with the best technology. And so I think like my biggest issue when I started streaming was having like a computer that was just so awful, like could not run anything that I run on my stream right now. Would only be able to run like the basics, like the camera, and stuff like that. And just even with that, had so many streams where it would crash, or like people would stick around, and then I had this whole like period of internet issues where just like my internet was just going out and coming in and going out, and couldn't fix it for like months. And so I think like going through that, you learn a lot. And I think like now I'm good. I have good internet, good computer that can handle more than what I do right now. But
And that's when you're still, and that's when How about when you're high or something? Did anything went sideways?
It all,
I think
everything's good.
Everything's
good.
or everything is
maybe
better. I
everything's
won't say
good.
Yeah,
everything is
so
better.
I misinterpreted the question then. So yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think that I've gotten so used to just kind of being a little bit buzzed on cannabis, a good amount of it. Obviously not when I'm working, but after work, and like I think that it doesn't really affect like how I do things. I'm not one of those people that gets like weird from it, or feels like they can't like comprehend things. So yeah, I haven't had any issues.
I'm like the other way around. I get quiet.
Yeah,
Which is fucking weird.
I
Like,
get chatty. I don't
I get
know.
quiet. Like Then Grace said, "Are you high?" Yeah, because I'm quiet. Because I'm on the corner. I'm not doing anything.
You
I think you're
stoner.
high.
You shouldn't host the show when you.
No, because
Well,
let
and
it be known you're not the only one. That's why I don't smoke on stream anymore.
Yeah.
yeah. Because I feel like the vibe is gonna go down if I do it.
Mhm.
You're the
I
same
think-
way, Super.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean. The only literal only times I might even consider being like, yeah, I could probably go for a little bit right now is because I'm starting to hit that age where I have lower back problems. We all know what that's. I see it in your face. I know. We know.
When you turn 40, everything.
Yeah.
I'm not sparing
The other
anybody.
day I went to go bend down and like do
Yeah.
something on stream, like grab something for an extended amount of time. And once you get over 30, you can't just bend like that anymore and stay like that for a
Dude, wait
while.
till you're
Because
40.
then when you
All
come up,
downhill from there.
you're like, oh.
No, I'm 29. I'm almost there.
Oh, God, you guys.
Oh, you guys are young.
Oh my God.
When you get to 40, you can't stream.
When you get to 40,
hours
everything goes
to-
downhill.
32.
I can't even drink right now. Seriously, I can't drink.
Hey,
because
did
of some
you see
problems.
the studies that
Crazy.
the next generation is not drinking? It's
Oh,
the
seriously.
trend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I respect it. I respect it.
moving
me
away
too,
from
yeah.
alcohol is
Hey.
a huge trend right now, I think. And I think like when
That's great.
when I started to move away from it, I noticed a lot of my friends, like when I met up with them and I texted them and I was like, yeah, like I'm not really drinking like I used to. And they're all people that I used to drink with. And they're like, yeah, I'm actually like doing the same thing. I like haven't been drinking for like a couple months. Like a lot of my friends here kind of stopped drinking a lot
And that
when I did.
confirms the study. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and it
great.
helps.
Crazy.
It helps a lot too when you have like a community that wants to be, you know, and more so, I think like wants to do it to be healthy, you know, as the end goal, which was my goal. You know,
I want to add to Vi mentioned in the chat. There's a lot of new sober raves as well. That gave me a
love
little
that.
bit of a brain blast. The first, and I mean first ever time that I ever played live. I don't remember how many years ago it was. It was multiple years ago. It was definitely sometime within the first 6 months I learned how to DJ. It was during Pride, and there was someone invited me to play. There was a whole separate section from the parade. That was just there was a whole fancy stage and everything, whole bunch of drag queens, kings, and everything. But at this, like the whole area, that was like a designated sober space. That was the sober stage, which I thought was really, really
That'll
cool.
be fun.
That's really
That's
cool.
for me.
Yeah, me. Hey, Super, you have to text me all those. You know, Grace and I'm gonna go. I love that. You know, as long as they end like 11 p.m., I'm.
Yeah,
but I don't think it will.
I mean, hey, it was the main Pride
That's great.
parade. So I want to say that was. I feel like I got there around 3-4 p.m. something like that. But yeah, it's
great.
really, really cool. It's really, really cool.
All right. Well,
yeah, especially at a Pride event, you know, like a lot of Pride events are very like everybody is wasted, you know, like
Right.
It's very normal for somebody to be carrying around a gallon of Tito's, specifically.
Yeah,
gallon of Tito's. Oh,
so I think that's good for people to have spaces like that. Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's really cool.
All the designated drivers are on that spot too. Like, all right, there's my driver over there.
$40 a ride. Yeah. I just started a Lyft business.
Right.
I'm actually very good at pretend drunk too, right? So I can say I can drink a mocktail and pretend I'm drinking. Like I'm actually more fun when I pretend drunk. And my friends that tell me that, because sometimes I drive them when we go to Vegas on like a work. Then I have like some speaking engagement the next day. I'm gonna be at that club pretending I'm drunk so that I could, you know, mingle with the client.
Yeah,
but I'm very good
mocktails. The mocktails are good. When I stopped drinking, because I was drinking every day, not healthy. But so when I stopped, you know, I was always having like a beverage on stream, and so I started making like these kombucha mocktails and like other kind of mocktails. And it was like I didn't even miss it, because like, you know, like you don't really, like at the end of the day, like when you kind of take especially like a couple of days of a break, but you still want a drink like that, you realize it's kind of like just having something to sip and not really like the alcohol. Yeah, so.
Exactly. I feel like every time I tune into Magda's stream, she's always telling us about this super fancy kombucha that she's sipping. I'm so mad. I'm so mad that's not in my mouth.
Magda Helena?
Yeah, Magda Helena. Shout out to Magda Helena. She's always drinking some fancy flavored kombucha I've never heard of in my life, but I need like immediately. Big fan of kombucha for exactly what you were talking about, Nick. Exactly.
It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
So I think we can talk about weed, kombucha, and mocktails for 2 more hours, but I do want to shift to the next segment, guys. And this is fun. But we do want to go to the next segment of the show where we talk about things outside of Twitch, right? Things that we prepared or sound decision prepared for us to kind of put our own flair or put our own thoughts to that one. And the next episode, which is probably what people are waiting for to ask questions. So, but let's go first to Beyond the Neighborhood. This is where we show a few things outside of Twitch that we want your perspective, our guests. All Matt,
epic
what's up for
transition.
Beyond the Neighborhood sound
Yeah.
decisions?
Here we go.
Yeah.
So the jury awarding a man $21.5 million after a cruise ship mishap was caught on camera. You can see some of the cruise ship passengers walking along when a sliding door hits 61-year-old James Hausman in the head. Hausman's lawyer says he suffered a minor brain injury causing seizure and memory loss. The cruise line, Holland America, denying the company was at fault, says they are committed to the safety and security of our guests. $21.5 million.
Really? Wow.
Done.
That is a monster settlement. Wow.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Really?
For a
Like, first of
sliding
all, what?
door.
Yeah. Well, what's a cruise? What cruise ship is that? Do we know?
I think
I
it's
want to know
Holland.
so I can go on the cruise ship and get paid $21.5 million.
Yeah,
I'm just
I know,
waiting
I'm
for
like,
it to open.
Get me on this trip and I'll make something up. Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Boy G for this topic. He wanted this to be on the show, so we workshop. I think he's on to something.
Yeah, he's at
Being
Costco right
injured.
now, waiting for that sliding door to open, slam him in his head.
Yeah, Boy G gets it. We're in the same boat here.
Stop spending
no
money,
pun
you know?
intended. No pun intended.
How do they determine the amount, the payout amounts? These
I
are
wish
like
that door would hit
crazy
me when I go to
numbers.
Costco. Stop spending money. We don't do
Yeah.
that.
If there's a lawyer
guys
in the
agree?
chat, just let us know. How do they come up with these numbers? Like, come on.
If I had to guess, one of them is usually like emotional, whatever the hell, I forget what it's called, emotional damage. Emotional
Yeah,
Yeah,
damage.
they mentioned that in
Yeah.
the news article that you
Yeah.
know there's emotional damage, memory loss was the other
Right.
thing.
That's
yeah.
called embarrassing. That's not emotional. I was embarrassed.
I
my
I did also hear seizure and memory loss. I know that involves stuff with the brain and surgeries, or if there even were surgeries required. I know that is not cheap. I believe I heard that involved America, and I think that a lot of us know how bad how expensive healthcare is here in America.
Oh my God! You
It's
go,
not
don't
gonna be
let me
cheap.
start on that one. Okay.
Our
It's gonna
society.
be it's gonna be
Oh.
it's gonna cost a lot. It's gonna cost a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. And I think
so-
too also like where they got hit. Because I think like, if it was like a leg, right, that like the door hit,
Right.
obviously no issue.
Right.
But
I was
I-
gonna
I-
have 10 million at that point. It's only 10
I
million.
think
for
I
the
think
leg.
the head, like Supa's right. Like the head is a very like sensitive area.
Even if
exactly.
even if the impact you don't think is massive, I think once you're up there near the brain, it's the
Yeah,
numbers.
concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just man, how fuck up our country right now, right? That people are getting. That's our money, right? Whatever that's selling. Well, not our money, but well,
It's
technically
insurance
that's
money.
It's insurance money too,
Insurance
right?
money.
Like, what is going on? Like, it's like people are just looking for like a quick payout. Like people who are struggling or working very hard, and then people will get ideas now, just waiting for
Well, that's
some
what
door to
the
slam on their face.
ambulance chasers are for. Like the lawyers that's their business. So
Mhm.
it happens a lot.
You don't want me to start about our country right now. We're gonna have another 2 hours just talking about. And I promised everybody, I'm not gonna go there. I know I'm a big I'm very emotional about that, but I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna try, but
I can see it in your face, Coops. Believe me, I'm with you.
I've been trying to and I've heard this from other people. There's the whole subject of like compassion fatigue, I think, with like what's going on right now. And I think that there's a good middle line, I think, between staying informed, being active, being in activism, like doing what you can do in your community and supporting the groups and whatever is happening, whether it's like whether it's a protest or a peaceful protest or writing your government or things like that. I think there's a good middle line between doing all of those things, but also not being blissfully unaware, but just knowing when to tune things out like that, because I feel like right now we're in a big state of information overload. You know, it's just, especially with things coming at all angles, I think that it's really easy to get overworked on it and especially stressed out and angry about it. But I think there's a good line between, you know, being productive, staying informed, and not trying to let it, I guess, get the best of you. I've been trying to, and I'm not perfect at this. I'm trying to, you know, I'm also understandably like just frustrated with what's going on right now. But I think that doing, and I think this is where Twitch is really helpful. And I think that, you know, streaming and having a community on here is really helpful, because I think that gets you through. And I've certainly
escape, really,
been using like my streaming and my community as a way to tune out some of the noise and you know, like be informed on your own time, but also have a space for music and unwinding, because people really need that right now. So yeah, like all the DJs that are on Twitch right now streaming, you know, their art and their music, like you are very needed right now. And I think that it's that we're all around right now and providing what people need.
Yeah, I'm really trying to avoid it. It's not, for me, it's not politics anymore, right? It's really basic human rights, things
unprecedented times.
Yeah, like there's so much shit right now that just irks me, right? Just misinformation also that's being passed, and people will actually believe a lot of this, you know, bullshit that's being out, right? You know, I just heard one today about that, you know, what was it? Women are now banned on men's sport or something like that.
Transgender,
yeah, because of that one transgender athlete that actually got misinformed, because, you know, apparently, you know, she break a record of a guy, but the guy also broke a record from another woman. It's really a co-ed. Like all this misinformation, it's just, you don't want to get me started.
They're using those.
They're using it. It's great.
It's a distraction.
Yeah.
There's a comedian I follow, and she's hilarious. But she made a joke and said, "Oh, good, you know, that'll show all 13 of them." You know, I was like, I mean, like, not to say that in a way that like that's right or anything like that, but it's like, you know, as a leader of a country to make that a really early priority is just weird. You know, it's like, obviously it's terrible, but it's also weird, you know.
I see Super holding back. I know.
I'm not holding back at all. In fact, the number, I'm nodding my head in agreement to specifically something that you said first, and it made me very comforted knowing that you said it first and I didn't have to, which is that a lot of what's going on at this point, it's not politics. It's as simple as me being able. It's as simple as, for example, why is my Medicaid gone? Why is Social Security gone? Why is food stamps gone? Why is something that was literally written in Philadelphia, mind you? Why is something that was literally written in the Constitution just gone? And that's something that I'm referencing, for example, is someone from another country coming to this one and then, you know, having a child here. Why is that child no longer why is that not a thing? And that's it's like why is my question, why? And that's why I'm thankful that you said it first, which is a lot of these things they're not politics anymore. It's just it's human rights.
It is.
And a lot of these things, it's shit that's multiple centuries old, and that's strictly talking about this country. That's strictly talking about this country and the ones that border us as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not really me that I'm worried about. It's all my kids, what they're gonna grow up. At some point, I mean, I'm very resilient. I can adapt, but how about my kids? What's their future, right? That's we're really me, and that's what I'm fighting for.
That's where I'm at. I think that I am, you know, even though I am, you know, gay and in the LGBTQ community, I'm a white man, a cisgender white man. Like at the end of the day, I know like I'm gonna be, well, for the most part, maybe all right, but that's not why I'm violently angry. Like I'm violently angry for the people that don't have that privilege, like
Yes.
don't have the ability to like walk out of their house every day and not present a certain way, or not, you know, be able to anamorph into, you know, somebody that looks like me. I
Yeah.
think that's, you know, and the energy that I'm trying to focus on right now is, you know, using, you know, the knowledge that I have and the energy that I have to obviously fight against that. You know, and fight for
It's
friends of mine and family of mine. Sorry.
so. Sorry to cut you off, Nikki, but it's I want to add to that one. It's interesting you said that. I think that there's hope here, because a lot of I've been looking at social media. I'm probably I'm gonna close it like to this point. Like there's still hope, because even a lot of white people, right, you know, have been speaking about it, saying, hey, you know, other countries, you see that, you know, you see this in our country. Please have hope that there are still other people in the country that doesn't believe in what's happening. It's not the whole America, right?
Exactly. Right.
It's just, you know, you got allies here that we're going to be working on, so that, you know, you can change what you perceive about us, because it's embarrassing, right? I'm Filipino, I'm brown, I'm an American per se, but still, right, you know, it's for me it's embarrassing, but I feel like we have a lot of other people that are, you know, non-black, non-brown, that still is very vocal about it. The entertainment industry, right? People on social media saying, you know, there's still hope. You know, we're still fighting for that. So
Absolutely.
good luck.
And I think people need to be louder. And I think that that's
Yeah.
just the thing, is that, you know, you can hit a wall of compassion fatigue, or, you know, feel anxiety about, you know, moving forward. But I think you just have to keep fighting for other people.
Yeah.
Um,
And I do want to also just put a little cherry on top too, Miss Coops. You popped into my chat literally right after, maybe as we were, I don't remember, but we just finished talking about how frustrated we were with the fact that the Sixers are a terrible basketball team that have not won in forever. And then meanwhile, Philadelphia was like, yeah, let's completely destroy Chinatown for an arena that literally only 30% of the city
Yeah.
wants.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Well, they changed their mind, right? So they decided
Right.
the Comcast is going to come in, but yeah, that
Yeah.
is also a big issue. Like what, you know,
Right.
the heck? It's great. Well, you know, I'm gonna shift it up to good vibes. I think everybody's waiting for their questions, so we're gonna switch now. For this section has always been a fun question. It's called No Dumb Questions. I'm just gonna play the real quick. This is the No Dumb Question. It's again one of my favorites. This is where we throw out all the wild, the weird, and yeah, what the fuck is this? Questions. Nothing's
Show
off
yourselves,
limits.
weirdos. Show
Yeah,
yourselves.
remember,
Goblins come out. The goblins can come
goblins,
out.
the gremlins come out. There are no dumb questions. Only the questions that are dumb are the ones that wasn't asked. So fire away. You can put your question in the chat, and Nikki and Supa, me also, and Sound Decision will answer it for you. Fire away. Let's go. All right.
What do we got?
While we're doing that one,
Yep.
I have one question though that I want you guys to answer while
Okay.
everybody's still warming up. Here's the question. Hold on. If Twitch banned DJ streams tomorrow, Supa and Nikki, where would you take your community? Except the
YouTube.
gaming.
YouTube.
Oh, and why?
Well, first and foremost, I know that a lot of people are here in my little circle specifically for the music. And while it is a pain in the ass, to say the least, to upload to YouTube, I also know that that's the next best option. The next best available option. The only thing that's been, so for example, when I did my whole festival last year, something that I did was not only did I upload the VODs, I uploaded all of the individual sets, and there were like 25 of them, 25 1-hour sets I uploaded. And the only two places in the entire world I couldn't upload certain sets depending on the songs was Russia and Belarus. That's it. Those were the only two places. And honestly, that was just like, once I either muted the song or deleted the song entirely, then we're good to go. It's available worldwide, and I can still stream on YouTube. So yeah, that's probably where I would go. Other than that, then I would consider going back to gaming. But
Okay,
honestly,
great
I'm so stuck in music at this point. I would just rather do that.
Naked?
Yeah, so if Twitch banned DJ streams, I would probably move to doing like variety content on Twitch. So I would probably transition into doing more gaming and also like chatting and
The guys next
maybe
door. You can
things
be
like
a
that.
co-host.
Yeah, or maybe yeah, like a show of some sort. I think that I've always thought about moving to other platforms like YouTube and things like that, and I think that YouTube would probably be the one that, if I had to move to like a completely other platform and start doing different things, or like do another type of content over again, like make actual YouTube videos, for example, like I would probably do that. But I think that like I've invested so much time into Twitch, I think over the years, that I don't feel like stuck here, but I kind of feel like if I tried to move somewhere else, I'd be giving up, a lot of the stuff that I worked for. And so I think realistically, I'd probably stay on Twitch, but just change my content.
Yep.
Sound decisions. You're a DJ. I'm not a DJ, so I can't answer that question. But how about you?
If that happens, this show that we're doing, the reaction on this show, everyone's gonna be upset, and we're gonna have everyone guest on our show and have them.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have great content.
All the DJs. Exactly.
So
have everybody on.
Yeah, this is gonna explode. This channel, but
Yeah.
I don't know. YouTube seems to be improving in that regard. But then again, you have to rebuild you can take everyone there too. So I guess YouTube, just like Supa's answer, would be my answer.
I got excited though when you can bring everybody in, because we did that in season 1, and like not all of them. We got like 10 guests on the season ender. That would be cool to get.
That was a riot.
everybody.
It was fun.
That's actually one of the best. It's a riot. So to do that. All right. So great answer, guy. But have you guys? I saw somebody says, have you considered going on Kick? Did you guys ever try Kick?
I did a whole one stream on Kick, and I've watched a couple other people use Kick. And while yes, the 95-5 split, or at least 90-10, I'm pretty sure it's 95-5. While that does seem enticing, my concern is what I have personally read in their terms and conditions, and especially how their terms and conditions has been worded. That is my concern, and especially considering that I have very specific values that I have built up very, very, very solidly in my own space. It just, again, putting this very gently, it does not match with Kick. It does not match with a lot of the kinds of people that show up on Kick. It does not match with the fact that a lot of people that show up on Kick are people that have been banned from Twitch. And that's the easiest way that I can explain that.
I heard it's a waste of time. So I know somebody who guessed it here said just waste of time. Nick, you tried?
Yeah, when Kick came out, I was actually working with like a group of streamers who we kind of talked about it, and we were thinking about doing like trial runs and all, just kind of trying to stream on there and seeing if it was worth it. And I think the main reason why I didn't want to move over there is because Kick, so the origins of Kick is Kick actually initially much like Twitch was a mostly for video game streamings, Kick was, I think, founded more for like casino and like gambling,
Wow.
and things
I
like
didn't know
that. Yeah, and so like what Twitch is to video games, like Kick was to like gambling, basically. And something about it being founded in that just feels weird. And I think that I saw a couple people go over to Kick, and it just didn't seem like it had the same robustness that Twitch does. I know that they use like AWS and stuff just like Twitch does, but I think that they're missing a lot of the community aspects of Twitch. And I think that just like Supa said, like I don't think the people over there are as into like the kind of content that I would want to provide. So I don't know.
Ed Craven and Bihan Tarani founded and run Stake.com, believed to be the largest crypto-backed online
And
casino in the
crypto.
world.
Bro,
Yeah.
And Stake.com
Yep.
is
Precisely.
yeah
they're
behind.
gonna pay you in crypto on that 95% split. You got a 95.
It's like one of those big Middle Eastern companies taking over football clubs in Europe, just buying everything and buying
Mhm.
players. It's all about having the money and the backing to take over things. There's
Mhm.
nothing really organic about it, unlike Twitch. So
Right. Exactly. And again, keeping all of this in mind, this is also what frustrates me even more about Kick compared to Twitch, is because Kick does a lot of things right. First and foremost, they have a functional mobile app. That's a big
Yeah,
one.
exactly, right?
They have a
It looks good,
functional
too.
mobile app.
Yeah.
It looks really good. They have the web player doesn't stop very frequently. I know Milk in the chat. I think Milk pointed this out to me. Maybe it was somebody else, but anyways, somebody that frequents my community all the time. They watch something on Kick and they're like, it never ever stops. You know, you can open something up on your phone or even your web browser, and it doesn't pause or anything. Everything was just buttery smooth. I'm like, wow, wouldn't that be nice? So
User experience is better.
Oh man, when Twitch overhauled their mobile app, it
Yeah.
got so bad, and it's still
Yeah.
really bad. They did make it a little better. It's a little better now, but like
They
3
still
months
have a
ago.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
and it's slower on. I have an old phone here, and it's very slow now.
because they added so much like
Right.
stuff
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
now.
the user
Yeah,
experience
exactly.
sucks. As somebody who build mobile apps for a living, I think there's a lot of improvements that they can do on that app, and I get their players better now, but I think there's a little more, a lot
I
more.
think they were trying to draw like UI inspiration from other apps, but like they did it in a really bad way. Like they didn't execute it right. Like they added the stories, and I think they were
The story
trying to
doesn't
take
work for
from
me. The
Yeah.
story
from
is
Instagram, and then
They're
they did
yeah.
the TikTok style feed,
The
which
more
like,
swat- the-
they're not-
everybody
goes up and down.
hated, and
They
like
shouldn't
and
even
now
try
there's
it.
two, and yeah,
It's
so,
a player. The only thing to do is go on the player, get out, fine, and then go back in. That's it.
I would even go. It's a chat. Like
Yeah.
make the chat the best it could be. Make the player not stop at all.
yeah,
and
And the audio comes with that too.
Mhm.
yeah, right.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. Like, as tempting as it occasionally is to go to Kick,
Yeah.
I value my values a lot more.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Goblins. What the heck? Come on. These
Okay, so
send a question. Give us a question.
Here. I got you. There was one
There you
that
go.
I think Jay sent earlier that I was like, I'm really excited to answer.
Oh wait, where's that? Let me find it.
Where's the weird? I think it was where's the weirdest place you performed? There it is.
This
Yeah,
one.
where's the weirdest place you performed? Yeah, there it is. Perfect.
All right,
Jay with the questions.
Jay's answer is Twitch, but Supa, go ahead.
Okay, so as someone who has spent a lot of time as someone who spent a lot of time in the underground rave scene here in Philadelphia, and dabbling a little bit more as time goes on in New York, it's just this is my literal neighborhood, no pun intended. So I want to say the weirdest place that I have ever performed was an abandoned. I believe it was an abandoned elementary school.
In
That
Philly?
is here in Philadelphia. Well, technically Philadelphia. It was closer to the Derby area, but just Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Philadelphia-ish.
Yeah,
Sounds
Philadelphia.
so
Right, yeah.
cool.
It
Oh my
was
god.
one was it was kind of up there. That the abandoned elementary school is up there with here we go. There's a very notable, extremely notable, to the point where I think you can even find it on Google Maps labeled this way. It's called Walmart Beach. I'm gonna let you guys guess what you think Walmart Beach is.
God damn it! Is that in Philly?
This is in Philadelphia. Yes,
It's a Walmart with a pond
I have
behind
to
it.
drive there. Now you're making me curious. I have to fucking find that place and see what the heck's that?
Milk knows. I've shown a couple clips of that in the intro to my festival. Okay, so Coops, you know where the Walmart in South Philly is, like near where the IKEA and all that is?
Yes, down where the red light district is. So
Right. Red light.
I know exactly where that is.
Okay,
Club
so-
Risque is there. So
Okay, so like not
Yeah.
far from, not even not far, like literally within walking distance. Is why it's called Walmart Beach. Slightly behind that
near the
Walmart.
water. Then
There's a pathway
Delaware
that you
River.
can walk to. Yep, exactly. There's a pathway that you can walk
Ah.
to, and then there's like a whole, like, I don't know, there's like a flat piece of ground that's really like goes out really far into the river, and people perform there all the time. That's called
Is
Walmart.
that like Navy
Beach.
Yard though? It's not. It's not considered as Navy Yard. No, I guess
No,
not
it's
because
not really, yeah.
yeah. Navy Yard is far about Broad Street. Yeah,
that's
never mind.
further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also reading the chat as well. Yes, Freya. That Walmart Beach is also where the guy sat there and ate an entire rotisserie chicken. His 40th rotisserie chicken in a row. He ate one entire rotisserie chicken every single day. And on the 40th day, he put up flyers that said, "This is not a party," but everybody showed up.
I read about that.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
why?
Walmart Beach. That was at Walmart Beach. I've played there personally at least 3 times.
Damn, I have to check that
That's
out.
awesome. I read about that story. Somebody was like covering it. They were like, "Yeah, that's so funny."
How about you, Nick? What's the weirdest place you ever played?
The weirdest place I've ever played was actually not in Portland. Funny enough, it was in. So I went to Burning Man one year.
Here we go again with Burning Man.
Weird enough.
Every
Yeah.
episode.
Every episode, Burning
Every
Man is
episode,
actually.
Oh,
it has-
really? Wow.
Yeah, every episode there's a mention of
Oh
Burning Man.
man.
They want us to go. All right,
Well,
go
I
ahead.
I
Sorry.
hate to be like the 50th billion person to bring it up then. But yeah, so the 1 year that I went to Burning Man, I went with an art car support camp. So art cars are the giant vehicles that you see like roaming around that
moving
people
art.
trick out and have DJ decks on them and everything or whatever. So I went with one of those camps, and so we were on the car and maintaining it and driving it around the plant, things like that. And so I got to DJ on the art car one of the nights. So that was definitely the weirdest place I've ever performed, was on the art car, because when you're on it, it's rocking. It's like rocking back and forth, and you kind of have to like keep your balance but be DJing at the same time. And there was like a dust storm. It was crazy. So the craziest and the weirdest place I've ever DJ'd on.
Damn. Right.
God damn.
Mhm.
My knowledge of Burning Man gets more intense. Well, not intense. I get more curious about Burning Man every time I hear stories like this.
Well,
yeah.
We TGND and the NBHD fam will not go to Burning Man, but we will be at the Movement
The
Festival.
Movement.
Oh,
on May
nice.
20th.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to Movement.
Very
Okay,
nice.
that
Yes.
was good.
So yeah, we'll be going to Movement this year. Not a big. Well, if you guys want to meet up, hang out, we'll be there. Sound Decision, Grace, me, Gus, and I know a few that want to meet there,
Nice.
right? I know Sounds
Our
of the
Canadian
Collective are
friends
going to be
can be
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both Canadian Sound of the Collective. I think they're going to be there, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We can hang out. Just drink mocktails
I mean,
and
hey,
smoke weed.
yeah,
There you go.
I mean, while I could not afford to go to the actual festival, I've already told a couple people that I'm gonna be in Detroit for Movement Festival, especially because I'm on the Sounds of Collective team. So
We'll see.
yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
there.
All right.
Awesome.
gonna hit- yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna hit you up.
they're out of Windsor, which is right across the way from
Yep.
Detroit.
They are south
So-
of us, actually.
Sound of the Collective is formed by
Ex Libris.
who's Ex Libris and Royce, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Royce is we know Royce, so we're hoping we're actually hitting her up. See, because she's Filipina, right? So
Yeah,
hopefully we can see.
absolutely.
It will be fun. I'm sure people will show. We got a few Michigan DJs too who will surely make it to. Well, we'll only be there Saturday, so stay
Yeah, I hope,
tuned for some
to-
announcements.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit is taking your time a 2-hour flight away from
Absolutely.
Philadelphia.
It is
Yeah.
close.
So, It's
Very
Yeah,
close.
very
it's
very
close.
close.
My drive from Central Michigan to Detroit is longer than your flight.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's like here to California is like 2 or 3 hours on a flight.
Mm.
It's like the same
Oh,
distance.
that's awesome. Well, yeah, if you guys want to go there,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're going any festival this year, but you can go there.
No. There was one more question I saw. I don't know where you were. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead, because I'm
go,
actually
so you
looking
can
for
find it.
questions.
There was one that Vi brought up, which is if you could stream anywhere besides your original stream studio, where would you pick?
There you
I'm
go.
gonna forward.
I
that
like
one to
Super.
Nikki.
Super is active, looking for those questions.
I like the
find them.
questions, too.
Yeah.
That he finds. She.
Mhm.
You wanna hit that up, Nick, first?
I really like the I don't know if you guys you probably have, but on YouTube, Circle, they do like sets
Oh,
that are
my favorite.
DJ sets that are out in really like scenic
The
locations.
best production.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, really, really nice like areas. Like I would love to do something like that. And I've actually always wanted to do something like that out here in Oregon because it's
So over there in the mountains,
so
or in
beautiful
the
here.
fjord,
Ski resort, Eiffel Tower, the
and
pyramids.
Yeah, going up
Uh,
to sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
anywhere like that. But even just locally, like I would love to go to like the mountains up here and do a set on like one of the lakes or on the one of the mountain ridges. Like I think you would have to get some kind of an internet resource. So there's
For
always
sure.
the logistical
satellite, yeah.
probably a
it,
permit
but-
too, depending on where you want to do it.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
But yeah, one of our OGs, Urban Bandits. He's known for his off the site streams. He's done it in Barcelona, Madrid. He's done it under the
Under
L
a
train,
rail track in Chicago.
under the L train in Chicago. So
Yeah.
that's
awesome.
pretty. Circle is one of my go-tos over
Mhm.
the YouTube. It's
It's good to put on the TV. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's will be a. Supa, you still want the original
Yes.
stream where you do it on Walmart Beach? That's not your answer, right?
That's definitely not my answer. My answer is where I'm actually going to be playing. What's that in 2 weeks? No, that's next. Jesus, that's next week. It's this place in I think it's Port Richmond. Anyways, it's the community name for the place is called TV House, and the reason why it's called TV House is because it's one of those. It's in one of those like townhouses that are like they're built really high. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's in one of those kind of houses. But the reason why it's called TV House is because the entire DJ booth is a bunch of CRT TVs that have a bunch of different visuals all going on the inside.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
That's like your mini sphere, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And it goes well. It goes perfectly with my brand. So naturally that's where I would like to be able to consistently stream all the time, because not only is it cool, it's close by, and also it's my brand. and again, it's a really fun place to play in. The collective that usually throws shows there, they usually throw like drum and bass and jungle and
Nice.
hardcore shows there. Ethan Dub, shout out Ethan Dub. He's played there more times than I have.
Wow.
I'm really jealous of him for that fact.
Ethan Dub's awesome.
I really that's my definite answer is TV Hell.
Yeah. I'm still bummed when I saw you and Ethan at the parade. Like that you guys went to the
Yeah.
parade. I missed it because I was working.
Mm.
Because some stupid person broke something that morning that I
Some
have to
stupid
be at work. Yes, it's a stupid. It's really a
Stupid mistake by
break.
a stupid
Yes,
person.
yeah, stupid. Yeah, I'm so dumb because I was on my way. I mean, I was ready, to go to that parade, but it sucks. I'll be there next year, right, Supa?
Please.
You better can't hang.
We'll be there next year. We'll be there next year.
I mean, yeah, we will be there next year. Go
Will
Birds! Go
Yeah.
Birds! Go Birds!
But any other thing? Any other question I missed here?
There was another one that I saw also from Vi. Oh, here's actually a really good one. What other Twitch streamer would you like to B2B or collab with that you haven't yet?
It's a good one.
Kind of the same from last week, but I think
The
more
last
of a
week
Twitch-
question, yeah,
more of a
like
Twitch
a real
streamer that
DJ,
you
right?
wanna
Dead or
collab.
alive. So now, yeah, Naked.
I would love to. I would love to do a back-to-back with Lee Cole and Musica. We've been talking about that for a
Lee.
while.
Yeah.
He's also like got a very similar style to me. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen soon. Would love to go back to back with Sahar again. I think we did a little bit at the original fam reunion like 2 years ago, but I know she's going to be coming up here to Portland this weekend with Bex
Isn't
from
Space
Chicago.
Taco there already?
And
Moved to
Space
Portland?
Taco just moved here a couple months ago. And
Nice.
so she's also in the Portland area now. So yeah, we have a big like get together this weekend of there's going to be
Awesome.
something on High Vibes with Space Taco and Bex and Sahar. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then yeah, I think like in the future, yeah, collabing with other DJs. Can't really think of anybody else right now, but yeah.
Supa, how about you?
I think I have two answers. DJ wise, I think that it's going to either, I know technically we've done a B2B together during Detroit, but it was only like 30 minutes. We need like a proper B2B. So shout out Vi. The reason why I mentioned Vi as one of my answers for the DJ portion is because she and we both, and I think this was like 2 days ago, we had a conversation of just like how aligned we are musically as far as our interests go, as music wise goes, where we started, where we currently are, where we want to go. That's something that we discussed, I think, as recently as somewhere around 2 days ago. Aside for like as far as again DJ wise that I absolutely have never gotten the chance to back with, it's going to be Drew Troit. Shout out to Drew Troit.
Drew Troit, yep.
Drew Troit.
Nice.
Drew, shout out to him because he invited me to play Speaker Box in Detroit when I was in Detroit to watch Vi for a festival. And for those that don't know, Speaker Box is a very, very, very like that's a super historic.
Yeah, I know what
venue.
that is, but I haven't been there.
Yeah, no, it's a super cool spot. And for those that know anything about speakers or sound systems like that I believe the whole space is lined with Void speakers, which is like that's top of the line,
The ultimate.
Exactly. And again, the reason why I mentioned Drew Troy is because every conversation I've had with him, like he's been cool. And again, music wise, we play very similar stuff.
Nice.
As far as collabs in general, I'm going to have to say my girlfriend Fumalina. She is a very, very big reason why I've been just going back to trying to collaborate with non-DJs or gamers or co-streamers, whatever, a lot of the ideas that I've been implementing lately have been coming from Fumalina. Whether that be in the realms of streaming, like the stream together function, whether that be finding little bots that I can personally throw into my own chat or whatever. Like we've been very much back and forth about this for quite some time now. We just haven't gotten the chance to really get the gears in motion. So that's definitely going to be my other answer.
That's awesome. Well, Violet, why haven't you played NBHD? Boychi, get Violet on NBHD if you want to. Right, we're always open to DJs who want to go in.
You are
on that raid
officially
train.
invited.
You're officially invited on this one to go in NBHD. Just let us know. I'll hit you up. Well,
yeah.
Before we go, is there a technology that exists that you can do back to back virtually?
I don't think the knock will do that though. The knock is weird for me, right? I know you can do that, but it's still
Like you can share, let's say,
it's-
Record Box, goes to a server, or Serato goes to a server, and you both
Right.
share what's in there, and you hear it. It would probably be a mess with the lag times and stuff.
That
I
would
think
be
it's a lot.
cool.
Yeah.
I know that on Twitch, the main thing that you can do is you, of course, like DJ wise, you wouldn't be able to combine performances unless Record Box offered like that functionality. But I know that like Supa mentioned, and I've been using this feature too, is the stream together on Twitch is really cool with the shared chat. And I did that not for a DJ stream, but for a gaming stream that I did with Lebcats. And it was really cool to have like all the chats together, and it kind of balances it out between like the two streamers, which I think is cool. So I love that Twitch has had that feature for a while. That stream together is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
awesome.
really cool. It's really cool.
Mhm.
There's a
Well,
lot
I
of ways.
think we
to
will get
utilize
there
it.
someday where we'll be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow, 2 hours have passed, guys. Always like we can talk here for hours, but thank you so much. Before we go though, I would like to give you the floor to promote anything that you're going to be doing, your shows on Twitch or your shows IRL. Supa, I'm going to start with you. Go ahead and promote all your gigs.
I mean, I'll say this much. While I do have, I have my planner right here. While I do have, actually, I have a couple things to promote as I look at the damn planner. So first, at first I was like, okay, maybe there's not so much, but then I look at the planner, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's quite a bit here. Okay, so Lemmy, Freya, if you can hear me, I'm making sure I'm making sure that you in the chat can help me out while I plug this here. Next week, and this is something else I also mentioned during this segment here. Next week in Detroit at the Terrarium, we are throwing a show that is a hybrid of in real life. Like there's going to be an in real life segment where it's open to the public, anybody can come. It's a very intimate setting and the venue's cool as hell, but it's very much going to be stream forward. So a lot of what I might see from people who might stream their live shows, the chat takes like the chat is kind of in the background. You respond
Right.
whenever you can. That's not going to be the case with this show. What Lemmy and Freya and Artificial Sky and Cheska and Neighborhood Kid, and I believe there's
Cheska
somebody
Tunes? Yeah,
Cheska
yeah.
Tunes. Yep, exactly. Yep. All of that is happening next.
Nice.
May as well saying that not this Friday, but next Friday, in Detroit at the Terrarium. I'm extremely excited about that. Even for those that cannot attend, like I said, it is also going to be simultaneously streamed. And as
good.
was
Awesome.
officially announced today, that's been made public knowledge. I'm also going to be helping them on the social media aspect. So that means I'm going to be the one just telling people, hey, if you don't know, let me give you a quick little walkthrough. Here's what's going on in the venue, this, that, and the third. Anyways, if you want to know more about that, either follow Liminal Faces, follow Freya, or follow me, because we're all follow Cheska, follow anybody.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get in that Terrarium open deck night
it's cool.
for
Yeah,
years.
Terrarium's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll eventually get there and I'll let you guys know.
It's at capacity now, Lemmy says, but that's even more of a reason for y'all to
That's
know
great.
exactly what's up, because it's at capacity. That means there is a very big demand for it, and if you miss it, then I don't know what to tell you, because it's in demands. You don't. It's something
Yeah.
that you don't want to miss. It's
Don't miss
something
it.
you want to tune in for. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Lim, hit me up. Can
Yeah.
you hook us up? No, I'm kidding.
aside from that, I do have an in real life show the following day that I'm gonna fly back from Detroit the literal same day and then play at TV House I mentioned earlier. Other than that, I the only thing that I can promote is just come lurk in the streams so I can finally get a check mark and I don't have to play the stupid number games anymore. That is getting a chance to apply for a check mark.
All right,
That's
now
all I ask
everybody here support. Supa is doing a big push. Open your tab. They're doing raids right now, accounting. Support as much as you can. We will do what we can do, Supa, to help you get that purple check. We're behind you.
Thank you, Coops. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you. You got this.
All right. Nikki, how about you? Can you promote your show or anything that you have going on?
Yeah, so coming up, not this upcoming Saturday, but the Saturday after, March 29th, virtually anyway. I don't have any like IRL like live gigs coming up in Portland or anything like that. I've been taking a little bit of a break from in-person gigs. Hoping to return to that soon, so definitely keep in the loop on that. But virtually, again, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after, the 29th of March, which I believe is the day after the Detroit show that Super just mentioned that they're putting together, which is going to be awesome. I've also heard about that, and I'm going to be watching that as well. But the next day on Saturday, I'm going to be starting my subathon for 4 years, streaming as an affiliate. Yeah, so guest appearances, something like a cake to the face or a pie or something of that nature. And yeah, it'll be a good time. So it's going to be.
I hope I have enough points to avail something.
Yeah. And it'll be I think like 16-hour cap subathon. So
Jeez.
I'll be going for a while. Yep. So come through, come join.
Yep. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys being on the show. This has been fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
It's 2 hours is not enough for all of this. We touch a lot of topics, and you guys have provided all the audience like your story, your journey, your point of view, which is great. That's always what we want, and hopefully everybody on the chat, have seen something different from some Supa or Nikki that you have not known on this show. Appreciate you being here. Go support Supa on his partner push. Support Nikki on all the shows. NBHD, love you guys. We will support anything that we can to help the community grow. We're here. That's always been our mantra on NBHD. Reach out all community. Know more people. Have fun. Right? We're not getting paid for this. I was just doing this show. Really, mix. At least I'm proud that I met a lot of people. Supa, I know have not met you in person. We're so close, but maybe soon, with Ethan and everybody from, the Philly area. We can hang out.
Yeah, geographically, we are very, very, very close. And hopefully the next time the Eagles win next year,
I'll see you.
we'll
be there next year. Sorry for that, Eagles fan. But thank you guys so much. I'm just gonna plug. We're gonna be on Movement. If you guys want to hit us up and meet, that would be great. And also, guys, in 2 weeks we're celebrating NBHD third year, so we're gonna do a 3-day raid train. So we're gonna get hopefully a lot of the OGs have started with us. Nikki, you started on the first year. We'll hit all of you.
We'll talk.
People have requested.
Awesome.
I have a personal request for bringing Shannon in, because Shannon's a doll. I love her so much. Shannon's so
she's
good.
OG. Yeah,
She's OG.
she's OG too. She's OG. So
amazing.
we will get as much as we can on that 3-day raid train, and hope you guys can join us. So thank you guys, and thank you to our guests. These are the guys next door. Happy Mondays, guys.
Round of applause.
Have a
Thank
good,
you, guys.
have a
Thank
good
you for
weekend,
having us.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Mr. Coop.
Somebody just
Happy 21st birthday. Oop,
So young.
Thank you.
21st.
We're gonna rate the Space Taco right now.
Awesome.
Let me with the last second 5-pack.
Yeah, somebody give us a 5-pack. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Appreciate that. Liz, thank you.
Thanks a lot to the chat.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Nick, Supa, can you guys stay for a sec?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we?
I'll never compromise. Yo.